Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So again, we're going to be talking about the Dark Angels because in my previous video, if you haven't watched it, we got some images sent over from the September edition of the White Dwarf. There's even more images I have been sent now. This is in regarding to the lore side, what has been posted in it. The previous video is more on the rule side with the stratagems and like the new mission and stuff like that, where this video and what we're going to be discussing today is the new lore, because it is confirmation now with the Primaris. They've been interweaved into the organizations within the Dark Angels. So let's jump in and let's get going. I just want to say a massive thank you to Brian Woonwell over on Facebook, who sent me all these images. It is amazing of you, mate. Thank you very much passing all this information on. Without him, we wouldn't have this information. We won't be speaking about it. I won't be making a video about it. So I don't know if you post in any 40k groups or even on my Facebook page. If you post there, just make sure you give him a nice thumb up and say thanks to him, because he is the man. He's given us this information. He is the Alpha Legionnaire. So the images that are in the background are not the best. They are much lower quality than I was sent the other day, but you know, I can't do anything about that. But one of the big changes is that we've actually had someone, a known character, actually with a model that has actually died. He is no longer alive in the current lore of 40k, and that is Captain Balthazar of the 5th Company. He has been replaced by Captain Lazarus, I think it says here. Again, the quality is pretty bad. So it says Captain Lazarus, I think it's Lazarus, attained his rank when his predecessor, Captain Balthazar, was slain in the chaotic battles that erupted in the aftermath of the Cistrix Maledictum. That is basically the rift, the great rift that cut the galaxy in half. Lazarus fought bravely in the war zone Stygius and the fighting aboard the Rock in the Fenris system, after which he developed a powerful hatred for the forces of the Thousand Sons and the followers of Tzeentch. An expert and straight tactician, his leadership prevented a total rout of the Imperial forces on the ice world of Rimok, though he was severely wounded by Fell Sorcerer during the fighting. With even a dreadnought sarcophagus incapable of his preservance of life, the only option remaining to the Dark Angels Apothecarium was to put Lazarus through the crossing of the Rubicon Primaris. After days of surgery, Lazarus was a changed man, but very much alive, his determination to punish the servants of Tzeentch stronger than ever. So for me, this is a very, very big, massive change, because this guy was wounded. He was basically on the edge of death, and a dreadnought couldn't save him, it said here. I could definitely read that right. So if a dreadnought can't save him, they basically put him through the Rubicon to upgrade into a Primaris. So I'm trying to get my head around that now. So if you are on the edge of death, it is better to become a Primaris Marine. It basically regenerates your body. It makes you into a new being. I'm a bit confused. Does that mean they can rip like Bjorn out of his dreadnought and give him like the Primaris upgrade, and then it's basically Bjorn returned and stuff? Is that am I reading that right, or is it just me that is reading that wrong? You can actually see it on the screen now. I've cropped this bit out so you guys can try and help me out. Another thing it mentions as well, that this is a historical event, a member of the Inner Circle becoming a Primaris Marine, which basically now confirms that Primaris are now in the Inner Circle. Yes, this is maybe just one guy, but you can see again GW pushing the lore forward, that Primaris are now becoming in the organization of like the Inner Circle and stuff like that. And it doesn't stop there, because we're going to be discussing more stuff about Primaris in the different organizations within the Dark Angels as well. So yep, that is very, very big for me. Dark Angels now have Primaris in the Inner Circle, and I think we're just going to be seeing more and more and more at this point. It's just going to be Primaris all the way forward. This is the only thing I see now. It's just the way GW are doing it. And there's even more now, because we have members of the Primaris being inducted into the Ravenwing, which is massive. So again, this blurb of text, I'll do my best to zoom in. Again, the quality is not the best, please forgive me. So it says Neriel, I think it's called. So he basically got recruited on the same world. He got pushed through like all kinds of punishment, as Space Marines do. They thought it was going to fail. He didn't. And unknowing to him, he helped the Ravenwing secure a member of the Fallen. And because his skills hunting down that Fallen impressed the second company so good, he was basically inducted into their number as a member of the Ravenwing. So there we go. That is, again, a Primaris Marine now being inducted into another organisation within the Dark Angels, which we thought was only there for the normal Marines. So what does this mean now? If Primaris are going to start becoming into the Ravenwing, that means one thing for me. We know that Primaris can ride Space Marine bikes. There's no models for them. There's no rules for them. There's nothing. So surely within a year or maybe even 2, we're going to start seeing Primaris on bikes. Primaris maybe on the hover bikes, which has been a rumour for like months, well, years now, ever since bloody Primaris come out. Maybe this is what's going to be happening with future stuff when it comes to Primaris. And again, you can start painting them as your Ravenwing, so it'll start making sense. We all know that the White Scars just got their codex, and the Khan, who got upgraded to a Primaris, has no bike now. So which is a bit crappy, because a White Scar without a bike is basically just... yeah, it's not really a White Scar to me. We know in their codex there was no Primaris bikers at all. So I'm wondering maybe would they be saving the bikers for the Dark Angel codex and maybe some like big models to release around their codex, and that is like when you start seeing rules for them and stuff like that. Maybe, I'm not too sure, but we'll soon see when the Dark Angels get their codex. And there's more, because it's not just the Ravenwing. The Deathwing are also getting in on the action. More or less the same kind of story again, with a guy called Aparaphus. Again, I'll apologise. The image is not the best, so you'll just have to live with it, I'm afraid. Again, it's kind of the same story. He went through the Dark Angel process. He basically defended a choke point against cultists, and he ran out of ammunition. And he was like the last man, and he held the choke point and he defended it, and they basically won. And the Deathwing was so impressed by him that they initiated him into their ranks, actually, into their ranks. So again, we have now Primaris Ravenwing, and we have Primaris Deathwing as well. Now the big thing about this is, what do they wear then? Are we getting new Terminator armor in Primaris style? Because a lot of people, myself included, don't think Gravis armor is Terminator armor essentially for Primaris, since it doesn't have the teleport homer on it. But it does confirm it in here. It says right here at the bottom of this little blip, it says the first company of Dark Angels is known as the Deathwing. Rather than the chapter's green, they fight clad in bone white armor to commemorate the valor predecessors who fought to cleanse one of the chapter's recruiting worlds of a gene stealer infestation. Never going to war without the heaviest Terminator armor or Mark X armor. They deploy most often by teleport, land raider, or repulsor. They are the inner circle's hammer, each an elite veteran with incredible skill at arms and absolute loyalty to their chapter. So of course Mark X does not have the teleport homer, so you won't be seeing Mark X being teleported anywhere. It does mention down there, be deployed by a land raider or repulsor. So the only situations where Primaris can be deployed now is inside a repulsor. They just shoot it out, or well, I say they probably drop it down onto the world, and that's how they're deployed. But if there's a Space Hulk, then how do they get over there? How do they deploy? Of course, boarding torpedoes and stuff like that, but how did they get out of those risky situations? Like, teleport me back, brother. Objective completed. Not if you Gravis, you have to stay there and fight, and hopefully you will win. Maybe in the future, GW will change the rules, and maybe they'll give him like a point option, or add in the law that, hey, they have teleport homers added to him, and you can deep strike him in and stuff like that. Really, I personally think they should already have that option, but again, that is just my opinion. Alright chaps, that is me done for another video. Massive thank you to Brian once again for sending me those images. What do you think about that then? That is, for me, pretty big information, pretty big law changing stuff. Primaris are now in the founding organizations of some of the most secretive aspects of the Dark Angels. We have him in the Ravenwing, we have him in the Deathwing, There's captains now and stuff like that. There was actually a book about Primaris and the normal Marines when they first got introduced, and the whole do we trust them and all that kind of stuff. I think it was written by Gav Forth, if I'm not mistaken. The name escapes me. If you know it, please post it below so people can go and read the book if they want to read. I think it's called War of Secrets, but again, that is not 100% confirmed from me. Right, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you love this? Do you hate this? Are you going to be making some Dark Angel Deathwing with your Mark X? Are you going to be hoping for Primaris bikers? Leave it all in the comment section, and we can get excited, start talking, and enjoy ourselves down there. See you in a bit. Thanks for coming, and bye-bye, brothers.